Check, check, 1, 2, 2, 2.
Check, check. Check.
Okay. We have anybody online yet? Go ahead. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to those who would have been logged on at Wack. My name is Anthony Woodruff, Senior musician, musical director in our industry. And I am the head of a team that put together the proposed constitution that we circulated earlier about the formation of an entertainment industry trade union. With me are two representatives from Guardian Life of the Caribbean, because they have put forward proposals for insurance for members of the union and what they can offer to our industry. So at this point, I would like to turn over. Okay, Neil, you want to introduce him?
Good night, everyone, and thank you so much for this time that you're giving us today. We are here to represent Guardian Life and to just give you a small introduction of what we can offer. And to my left here, we have Brent Janke. He's a unit manager with Guardian Life, and we are out of the Ricardo Smith branch. So, good night.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Woodruff and team. It's a great honor just to be here now amongst your members and amongst those who are listening and looking on. So what we after having conversations with Mr. Woodruff, I know this idea or this vision that you have for the industry, and I think it's a great idea, and I think we want to be a part of this journey, right? Because I saw the passion when we spoke and what you're trying to achieve here, especially, I mean, the younger musicians may not even understand what you're trying to do here right now. And this is just the beginning. I'm happy that you're giving us an opportunity to be a part of this. And you've seen the many struggles of musicians and the many struggles of the industry, from persons not preparing financially and not putting their house in order, if you want to call it that, right? And as a leader, you saw the importance of financial planning, and you introduced us and you had a conversation with us so that we could start providing this sort of knowledge to your membership, all right? So what we propose for the union, we'll call it a union, right, or group, we have intentions of creating what we call a group or family plan for all the members of the association. With this plan, like anything else, numbers matter. The more people we have, the cheaper the price. So if we get the support and we get persons to come on board, the union is offering, from my understanding, to give members a preferred rate for life insurance, right? And we can negotiate that rate based on the numbers that we get, right? So that's the first proposal, is to provide the membership with a form of life insurance, which they can use either for final expenses or future generational wealth creation, etc., right? And we're talking about cost in the mere $50 per month, or in some cases, $25 per month, for a minimum of $100,000, depending on the age of the individual, depending on the health of the individual, etc., right? So this is just one aspect of what we propose. The second aspect that we propose is group medical insurance, which members under the age of 60 and members over the age of 60 to a maximum age limit will have the option to enter into this union plan. This union plan, again, it all depends. For it to bear any sort of fruit, we need the numbers. We need persons to buy into it, right? But if we get the numbers, you're looking at health insurance for doctor visits, specialist visits, surgery, dental, vision. If you're traveling and you have any accidents, maternity benefits for the female artists and female members, and by extension, their significant others and children could also be part of this plan. And you're looking at costs on an average of around $300 to $350 per person. And it can go as high as $700 per family, right? And again, it can be tweaked. It can be adjusted to suit. And we will work with the members to provide the best benefits. And we will listen, obviously, and take everyone's opinion and everyone's thoughts into the development of this plan. All right? The third item, or the third issue that we discussed, was insurance for members who have instruments, of course, right? And they're traveling and they're using these instruments locally or in their band rooms or up the islands or even internationally, right? We could, again, once we have buy-in and we have the numbers, we can look at creating a form of group plan, if you want to call it that, but it may be a little bit difficult, but we would try and work with each individual individually, initially, in the initial stages, just to get a feel of what are some of the needs, what are some of the issues. But we can provide these sort of services where in the event you want to insure your instruments from theft, especially theft, right? Or it can be covered, right? Even if you're traveling abroad, if you're using your equipment locally, or you have it stored in your band room locally as well, all right? So at this point, Mr. Woodruff, I would just like to ask your members if they would have any questions, the ones online and the ones here.
Are there any questions that we would have concerning the insurance, what is offered or anything? Those present, question?
Broad. Okay.
Yeah.
Two, yeah. It doesn't make sense. But there will be a lot of members who probably don't have this sort of coverage. So we want to educate them and give them the information. Savings? So, in terms of the life insurance, that is. So, no. So the life insurance that the union is proposing, and because I believe you want to cover the cost for this, right? Yeah. As becoming a member, it wouldn't carry any investments. That would be a separate conversation. Yeah. So the union is just want to offer this for its members as a benefit in kind of situation. Just for being a member, we will give you this form of coverage, right? And it will be a part of your cost or annual fees, etc. Any questions from the online audience?
Nothing new?
Nothing thus far.
Okay.
Do you have any questions, Mr. Woodruff, that you want to?
Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
And these are things that the union has to be providing as an umbrella to shield its members and protect its members. So becoming a member of the union is all voluntary. It is your choice. But this is what the union can offer. Now, I started off with the insurance so that after they have made their contribution, they can leave. And then I can continue speaking about the other areas that the union would cover. So,
good. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much
for listeners. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And we'll be in touch. Professionalism. The union, that's okay. The union will be looking to set professional standards, general codes of conduct, codes of ethics, codes of attire. Because I have seen some musicians on stage or some entertainers on stage, and it would seem as though certain sectors of the market are very comfortable with that. But when a musician or an entertainer does not understand that attire and how I carry myself on stage is relative to my market, and they want to transfer it to every market. So you go to Central Bank, where you're performing for Central Bank clientele, and you want to dress as though you're in the savannah, then we have a problem. So the union has to come in to give guidelines for the industry, and the union will be protecting its members and finding work for its members, both locally and internationally. Once the union is set up, the union is going to be affiliated internationally. England, US, Europe. So it means that international festivals, the union will be invited to send representation. What we have seen in representation in the past is that people who are on the right side of the political divide are the ones who seem to get all those jobs. And then when the political divide changes, then it's a different set of people getting it. The union does not operate like that. Once you're a member of the union, it will be a rotation. You're at the level to perform. An invitation comes. You went last time, somebody else will go this time. Somebody else will go the following time. We are going to develop ourselves. The union is going to also set a platform where, like what I've seen in Jamaica, we have our young upcoming artists who go on stage and perform. They're not paid, they're not advertised, because you would have the headliners like Marshall or Farmer Nappy. But Marshall going on stage and he brings 3 young artists with him. We pay the expenses, but they get the experience and they face an audience. So they start doing their marketing. So the union is going to be about pushing our local artists and our local culture, getting it out there. We have a number of artists who have already forged their way into these platforms. The work that they have done as pioneers didn't start with them. It started before with Rose and Sparrow. And what a lot of people don't know is that the band that did the most work in promoting Calypso in the early stages was Byron Lee and the Dragonaires. That was the band that Sparrow and Arrow and Rose and all the Calypsonians toured with. And then following that, Roots came on board. So, Bungie, Farmer Nappy, Marshall, all of them have benefited from the work of the early ones. But there was not a formal mentorship program. The union will now want to establish a formal mentorship program. So we have young artists coming up, the experienced artists who have had to learn the hard way, need to guide them, talk to them, bring them on shows, let them face audiences, let them see what it's all about. So that way, we have a nursery for our culture. I am focusing primarily on music and entertainment, but the dance fraternity and the drama fraternity also face the same problems that we do. Our technical support areas, sound companies, pubs, promoters, the administrative staff that work to support our industry. All these people who are involved in our industry have a right to be part of our union and to be able to get the benefits of the union. There are many who would want to say, I'm not paying, but when the benefits come, they want to share. And some of the benefits that will be organized, everybody is going to benefit from. But the union is not selfish. If you are selfish, that's your choice. The union is going to be across the board for everybody as a member of the union, if you are not financial, it means that you cannot avail yourself of the benefits of the union. But you're still a member of the union. So we know some people have challenges at times with the industry. The union is going to be running monthly workshops on taxation, workshops on business of music, workshops giving suggestions on contracts for performance and the benefits of always performing with contracts. When you perform with contracts, it means there's a paper trail to how much you have earned. So then you need to understand what policies the government has in place that you can avail yourself of to get tax rebates so that your declared income is always at a level that you can deal with. A lot of the big companies, they have a lot of tax shelters. And the little man is the man who is expected to pay every cent of tax. We're going to have specialist tax accountants who can come in and talk to us about taxation, how you fill out your tax returns, what you can look forward to. Investments is another area. Entertainers need to understand that the entertainment industry is not just one continuous party. It is a business, and the same way you go to work as a teacher or an accountant or a police officer, as an entertainer, when you go to a function, you go to work. You don't go to party. When you want to go to party, you should not be working. How you get paid is when people pay and come through the gate. So you should be encouraging people to pay and come through the gate instead of looking for complimentaries. Complimentaries negatively affect how you're going to be paid. It is a business. Some people feel that promoters rip off the artists. But artists need promoters, and promoters need artists. If a promoter does not have access to artists, they cannot earn. If an artist does not have access to promoters, the artist can promote himself or herself, but then they will understand the challenges involved in so doing. And that is when they become more sensitive to what the promoter has to experience in promoting an artist. So I would advise every member of the union to become a promoter so that you appreciate what a promoter brings to the table when a promoter comes to hire you for a gig. It also gives you a sense of reality in how to charge. Because it is very easy to lose a gig if you price yourself out of the market. But then, if you underprice yourself, you'll be abused. Everybody will want you because you're pricing low. So when you do your own promotions, then you know what your true value is. And you can work comfortably with a promoter at that point. There are many things that the government has in place for the entertainment industry. First and foremost is when you register with Ministry of National Security, when you fill out your passport and you put professional musician as your occupation, it means that you are now entitled to come into the country with musical instruments, whether new or used, without paying any duties for it, because those are considered as tools of trade. Once you're registered with the Ministry of Culture in the Artist Registry, the government has in place that any corporate body supporting an artist who is registered with the registry would get 150% corporate tax off for whatever money they put behind that artist. These are things that many artists are not aware of, and as such, not availing themselves of. The CARICOM Certificate of Recognition allows any CARICOM musician or any CARICOM artisan or artist the right to enter any CARICOM country and work in that country for 6 months without a work permit. I have traveled to CARICOM countries, and when I show my CARICOM Certificate of Recognition, I'm through immigration, no time, and the rest of the band, they have to wait for the promoter to clear them. These are initiatives that the government has in place for artists. And the last thing is that artists need to understand the business. Don't expect government to just put money in your pocket. Don't expect any promoter to put money in your pocket. Being a professional performer means that when you perform, you are entering into a contract with whoever has hired you. And that contract says that you produce and you will be paid. Don't expect to be paid if you're not producing. So it would be our responsibility as a union to ensure that members are producing and members understand the industry and how to work with the industry. At this point, I would like to open to anybody who would have any questions or comments that they would like to make at this point. Hayden, Mike, Errol.
Thank you very much. I have one disagreement with you.
Uh-huh.
That is with Byron Lee. Sparrow made recordings with Byron Lee. But the recordings that Byron Lee made with our music and our arrangements was done in New York by people like me and a few Trinidad musicians in New York, because Byron Lee never used his band to do these. The horn players were the ones that do all the recordings. That's what I disagree. I don't think Byron Lee should get that. And plus that, Byron Lee, Sparrow had his band, the Troubadours, traveling all over New York, you know. So Byron Lee made hits with Sparrow, but I don't think he should get that kind of credit, you know.
The thing is that what you're saying about the recording is accurate, but I wasn't speaking about recording, I was talking about actually on tour. And before Sparrow Troubadours, Byron with Earl Harris, Byron was the band that took all the artists on tour.
Yeah, but see, you disregarding Cyril Diaz and people who did the groundwork here, you know. Cyril Diaz and people like that don't get any mention. Byron Lee gets the mention, but...
And all I'm doing is being very factual.
I'm not being disrespectful to what you're saying. You know,
No, I understand
but
that.
I want the people to know that Trinidad, I played on Sparrow's very first recording, so I have an idea of what is taking place, you know. Cyril Diaz should be counted, you know, and a lot of people like that, you know. Byron Lee made recordings, but he shouldn't get the top thing. Cyril Diaz should get that.
The thing is, Cyril Diaz was not the first band that was out there traveling, promoting Calypsonians.
Yeah, but what about putting him on the map in Trinidad?
I have no problem with that. But what I am saying is the reality is that the first band, Earl Harris took the Calypsonians out on tour. And Earl Harris had Byron Lee as the band.
I understand that.
And after that, when Sparrow and them had already been out there and gotten a certain amount of exposure, that is when Sparrow formed Sparrow Troubadours. And that is when he started touring with Troubadours, and Byron was no longer the touring band for the Calypsonians.
Yeah, but Cyril Diaz, what about the first person to put him on the map?
That had nothing to do with the union, when they talk about union business.
What? No, we are just...
He went and I think that this meeting should be geared to what the union's purpose here is now, and how they are going to protect and support and promote
Yes.
and do the groundwork to ensure that musicians in the union get the proper facilities, the proper wages, the proper concerns. What people did before, who went first and who do that, and they had nothing to do with this. We're talking union business here. So I think we should be about union business. What is the union going to do for us? Why do we want to have a union? Why should we pay a union due, you know?
Yeah.
So them kind of things, you know what I mean? Because...
Well, we started off with the insurance, and then I went on to the union setting up code of ethics, code of conduct, attire, you know, guidelines that we can use, which will not be decided by any one body or any one person, this is going to be discussed across the board, and all members of the union going to have their input in it. And based on the consensus, that is how the guidelines are going to be arrived at. We're going to have workshops on a monthly basis so that people understand business of music, taxation, things that are critical to survival in the industry, how you earn, what government has in place, how can we use it. The union now will be a platform for negotiation with government for things that the body will feel this is what we need. So the union will be the representative body. There's another issue. Every carnival, we have a whole heap of all-inclusive parties. These all-inclusive parties make a minimum of 500,000 profit. And that happens because of the artists performing. We are the artists. Why can't the artists decide that we are going to hold a date in each season for the entertainment industry? And you perform, you get paid. The promoters promote the event, but the industry, the union gets the benefit so that that money can be used to ensure that things like insurance or other benefits that the members may need are dealt with financially.
It is important that musicians understand how the union is going to put in place the assurance of jobs in the society.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Okay, take for instance, what the union is going to put in place to sort of manage a place like Arapita Avenue,
Mm-hmm.
with thousands of clubs, with no live entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? How do we help? How do we approach the government or whoever that is in charge to say, well, listen, we have hundreds of musicians out here not working every day, but yet still you have streets of entertainment and amusement parks and restaurants and clubs, and you're not employing musicians.
Right.
How do we fix that?
We can fix that very easily by lobbying government for the licenses. So when you have an entertainment facility, if you are registered for live entertainment, then you get a rebate on your license. If you're not registered and you don't want live entertainment, then you pay the full price. So you can't demand that a business owner hires musicians or entertainers.
But you could give a reason for hiring one.
But
Okay.
you encourage them
Yes.
by giving them rebates. Even if it means that to actually give a rebate, then you increase the value of the license.
Is there a way where if you refuse to have live musicians, you cannot have a DJ to play music?
That is something that we can also lobby for. But again, you see, the union is not separate from the membership of the union. The union is the membership.
Yeah.
So the membership, whoever the membership is, has to come out to meetings, and it's not like, okay, a senior musician, when I sent the proposed constitution to him. He called me and he wanted to discuss it. And I said, no, come to the meeting. So whatever you have to say, you can say to the meeting and everybody who is present can discuss it. And you get a referendum. Discussing it with me is not going to help. Because whatever discussion you have with me, I'm not the union. The union is everybody.
Well, eventually they would realize that if they're not part of the union, they will not be able to work.
Right. So the thing is, I thought I would have seen him here. I don't know if he's online, but he's not here. There are other musicians who we need this. This is all good, yeah.
I don't much.
I've been through the Constitution and this is what we need. I don't know if they're online, but they're not here.
Yeah. I'm in agreement with everything that you've said. This is for Mr. Carl Jacob, is that I object to Byron Lee being the lead man to sing. I don't want to change no subject. Cyril Diaz is the man, because there has to be a starting point, like a mother makes a child, and so Cyril Diaz was... anything after that.
Cyril Diaz... No. Cyril Diaz started with Sparrow Troubadours touring.
No. In the recording studio.
I'm not talking about recording.
No, but listen, what I'm trying to say is that we're talking about a union, but I object to Byron Lee being... You was not there. Sorry, I apologize. Go ahead.
People want to say something towards the union. No, we got the point already. we got the point already. No, he wasn't objecting. We got the point. But it's not part of the conversation in terms of the union. Right? I respect you. Yes, I respect you. I'm telling you, you cannot go on with that. Now, what I'm saying is that who are the actual directors? Is the union formed already?
No. The union is not formed, and the proposed constitution for the union is what people were supposed to have read, and if any contributions, that is what was supposed to come. So at the end of this meeting, we are supposed to know, okay, this is what we're going forward with. People are comfortable with this, and we can now register this. And how many people are prepared to actually register with it? Right. So,
I want to ask a question.
yeah.
How does the union prepare to help artists with copyright? Why I ask that question is because, for instance, Carnival. And I've seen it, I've lived it, I've been a part of it, that where only the big name artists gets rebate from copyright. And the small man or young musician that who now comes out, songs still playing on the radio and gets back nothing from copyright.
Right.
How is the union prepared to help with that?
There are a number of challenges with that. One, radio stations logging what they play. Radio stations are the ones who really abuse the artists because they know carnival time is heavy rotation. So they slip in small artists as fill. And the small artists happy to get the song played, but they don't log the song. So they're not going to be able to claim from copyright. So this is why COT has said over the years, if you as an artist hear your song being played on a particular station at a particular time, please bring that information into court so they can follow it up.
Okay,
So
I do
just now,
understand
let me go a
Yeah,
little further.
yeah.
The thing is, our industry wants to sit back and expect somebody else to always be doing for us. Whereas we individually have our responsibility to look after our own business. And the people who are in place like COT or what would be a union, these people are just there to facilitate your claims, to deal with your support. But it's not that they are supposed to be going out there and running after every little artist to make sure every little artist get paid. They can't do that. They don't have the manpower to do it. So they are depending on each individual to bring in the information to them that they can now investigate based on that. And they're prepared to investigate.
I know, I've been there.
Yeah?
Yeah, carry it, all of that. They don't do crap. Take what I'm telling you. They don't do crap. The radio station, they don't go after the radio station. If they do go after the radio station, they say, no, we never play the song at that time, at that hour, whatever day. They don't do anything.
Okay.
So the main thing now is, how is the union, as an artist joining the union, supposed to help me with that?
Well, the first thing is logging. Because once the union has people paying union dues, it means we can now hire staff. That when a radio station says, I did not play that, okay, so let's see your log, let's see what you played. So what were you playing between 11:05 and 11:08? What were you playing there? If you weren't playing this song, then you were playing another song. And if you were playing another song, then you have to pay for that other song. Right. So one way or the other, you have to pay. So when they realize that whether they pay the small artist or they pay the big artist or they pay whoever, they have to pay. That is when they will start to be more responsible with the login. But the only way that can happen is when the artists start looking after their own business and being able to say at 11:08 my song was played, and then at 1:05 my song was played again, and then at 4:03 my song was played again. That is the only way it can happen.
Okay, cool.
Another thing, artists send their tunes to the radio station and then upset with the radio station because the song not on rotation, they're not hearing it on rotation. The policy of every radio station is democracy. So if they play a tune and you launch on the station, but nobody asking for the tune,
I understand that.
it can't go on rotation.
True.
So it is up to you to have your crew who would now be calling into the station and saying, hey, we want this song played. And that raises your profile. So all that is business of music. And those are the kind of workshops we'll be having monthly for members of the union.
Right. Okay. Something else you said about attirement, which I clearly agree with what you're saying. But if my retirement, right? As an artist to go up there, that shows me up that bringing work into me as a G-string and a brassiere top. And that's what bringing in the work for me. How are you as a union going to, you say, adjust that or fix that?
Right, which is why we said it is going to be relative to the gig.
Right.
So if you're doing a dancehall gig, that's acceptable, that's cool. But if
Okay.
you're going to be in Central Bank, or you're going to be in President's House, that is not acceptable.
Now, question remaining.
Just now,
Okay, let me hear.
you can do the same performance that you did in dancehall for the president, but your attire has to be different because of the venue. If you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Right. So all I'm saying is that the union is not some abstract somebody. The executive is not some abstract somebody that is going to decide all these things, you know, totally independent of the body of the membership. The membership will have to discuss these things, and the membership will put forward proposals as to what the membership feels as a body. This is what we are comfortable with.
Okay.
I think you are preaching. There are certain things I wanted to say, and I think you have actually articulated on it. Is that what he has to do is to get all his friends and family to call into the radio station and ask them to play his song.
Yeah? Yeah?
And log the time and the DJ that played the song. That's all. And that is something that goes on all over the world.
Yeah. Yes. Just pass the mic for her, please.
No, and this time now they have more ways of, easier ways of tracking your music now. They're automated systems. So maybe something that a union could consider lobbying with cuts and these people is to get in touch, get in tune, get up to date, because the international copyright and publishing houses, BMI for example, they have automated tracking. So wherever, if you sign up with them, and a lot of local artists are opting to go that way now, because it's easier now. They're getting and they actually do check up on their music and stuff that's registered with them. Cut needs to get up to date, you know.
Right.
Now you don't necessarily always have to just log.
I totally agree with that. But everything is based on the membership and what is the membership contributing. So if you are representing a membership, but all the membership wants to do is to receive benefit, but the membership is not prepared to make any investment for their own benefit. Because if I make an investment, the next man is not making an investment.
But would there be terms to membership? I mean, when if we decide to join, and are we going to be given terms? I mean, you're going to determine what the terms are, and they'll determine, as you're saying. So you will lay out for us what the benefits of being this type of member or that type of member is going to be. Yeah?
And all that was done. And what I'm saying is, based on what was done, the financial ability of COT is still challenged. It is still challenged. And if COT was to take the kind of money from copyright that they needed to really operate COT, which would in the long run be for the benefit of the artists, you would have the artists screaming at them.
The Performing Rights Society in England is the one that collects money worldwide for ASCAP, BMI, and any other musical copyright organization in the world. They depend on PRS to collect money worldwide. And that is a fact. This is my subject, I know about it. It's a fact. So whatever PRS get, or BMI or ASCAP get, they get it from worldwide. They
Yeah.
get it from PRS.
Right. But again, I come back to the point that artists cannot just sit back and expect somebody else to do. Yes, there is cut, but we, the artists, have to understand that we are cut. All the members of cut, that is who makes cut up. When cut has elections, how many people turn up? When you check the membership of cut, when you have elections, you have probably about between 10 and 20% of the full membership of cut coming to the meetings, because 80 to 90% of the membership, all they want to do is receive. And this is an example of what is going on. And this is what we need to change. People need to understand if you want benefit, you have to invest. And that is business. That is business. Yeah, Steve?
One thing we all have to realize as artists is that the real income of an artist cannot come from a trade union in any format. The real income comes from producers, promoters, record companies, artists and repertoire builders, and all that. And we have to really try to make some connections with the international professionals in the record companies, that they could actually set up offices here and help in that direction as well.
Yeah. Okay. Look at Who Let the Dogs Out. The Baha Men had a different producer, and they took the same song, and it became a monster hit internationally. Now, Anselm got money for that. But if we had a union that could have invited international people in and made the contacts, you could have had a song like that being a monster hit right out of the gate, where Anselm was the one who would have just gone clear with it. Yes, yes, yes. The union should be a promoter to promote the interests of the artist, business-wise. And that is what the union is about. Yeah.
Not the promoter not the promoter of the person who's a union member. So you have to, your union is above the ordinary trade union, as a matter of fact.
Well,
it says it needs to be a promoter of the artist as well.
it is primarily a promoter of the artist.
Yeah.
So anything that the union does after that is because of the artists and the musicians and protecting their interests. That is the primary aim of the union, to protect the welfare and the benefit of the artists and the members.
Yeah. So you should make probably a clause that members who are members in that sense, but they are not concerned with anything else but nothing, and they're hoping that it'll get some.
Well, that's in the Constitution.
So you have to show, okay, where if you come to membership meetings and those kinds of members will be promoted.
The thing is, once you are a financial member of the union has a responsibility to promote your interests. Yes, but a union can put things in place. You see, this is a discussion I had recently where a lot of people feel the artist has the hit. And I said, 9 out of 10 times when the artist goes into the studio with the arranger, it is not a hit. When the arranger finishes with it, that is what makes it a hit. Which is why Who Let the Dogs Out? Anselm released it, and he sang it. It was nice, but it wasn't the monster hit that the other producer who produced Baha Men had with it. Now, what we need to start looking at, let's mellow the ego a little bit, and let's look and search into ourselves and see what we can use as tools to support what we're doing and to help benefit us. I remember a senior musician saying to me years ago, anytime you go on stage and you come off the stage and you felt you've done a perfect performance, stop performing because you're lying to yourself. That is just ego. And we as performers need ego to be able to stand up on a stage and face the audience. But we need to control that ego, and we need to leave that ego on the stage when we come off the stage. Well, I would say, what I'm talking about is false ego. The real ego is what I would consider as a sense of self, knowing who you are and knowing what you're about. So it's self-confidence. The false ego that you are talking about is when you think you're at a certain level and you're not there. But you're telling yourself that is where you're at.
I like this conversation. Now, a composer, a calypsonian. I'm not knocking the calypsonian, but a calypsonian comes on a arranger with a poem. The arranger dresses it up like an architect. And when it comes out and it's a hit, the composer takes full credit, like it's his music.
Yeah.
And the public says, well, I'm listening to Sparrow's music. But it's not, you're listening to Sparrow's words, but the dressing is not Sparrow's or whoever it is. But they get the credit.
Not only that, very often you hear that is Baron tune, that is singing Sandra tune. And nobody understands that Baron don't compose singing Sandra Do Compose, you have a Christoph Grant, or a Winsford Devine,
Or Erolins.
or Erolins, or Larry Harewood, any one of our composers who are responsible for all these songs.
Do you know, Mr. Gentleman, do you know I'm the one that's responsible for I'm the Baron, the Sweet Superman? You know I'm the composer? You know Sweet TNT, I'm the composer? Do you know I'm the one that brought Baron Tambo into Kaiso? No, you don't know that. You don't know that. You could never know that.
You see, the false ego is what causes the problem.
Hi, good night. I'm probably the youngest here, so I'll let everybody else talk before I say anything.
And I'm happy that you're ready at this point to make a contribution.
Well, I was paying attention more so than anything.
Yeah.
Right? My name is Kitwana Israel. I'm Roger Israel's son.
Okay.
Right? I go by Advocate Productions, and I've done stuff like Kes Hello. I actually own the songs Ola Tunji Ola, Patrice Tender, Bosshead, Come Home from Last Year, Drink and Party. So I have a good bit of work that I've done over the
So
years.
you understand when we say the arranger in the studio
I know.
makes the hit.
No, I know,
And then the
100%,
artists
because
go out there.
I actually write a lot of them, as well as produce,
Yeah.
as well as mix, as well as engineer, as well as sing backgrounds. I do all of it. So I understand, totally. So I was just kind of just sitting down, paying attention and listening to what's going on. And I've been in conversations like this many times before.
Yeah.
I've actually been on the board of COT for a period of time that was not excellent. And but I've seen what happens, and the turnout is similar to this.
Yeah.
Right? And what you're doing is something that I've actually tried to do, but more in a modern sense. But you have the information that we may not have.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of young people, we don't know the actual workings of the government and so forth. All we care about is social media, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm generalizing it.
Yeah.
So I just sat down and I was just paying attention to kind of, monitor and see what it's all about. And I agree. I find the intent is accurate, and I approve, right? But the problem that we might have is that I'm the only young person here. And I could see that happening for most of your meetings, if not all. And in the position that I'm in, I deal with a lot of producers, a lot of writers, a lot of artists. And I know all of them, and I invited them as well when I got the notice that went out. And one person responded, and they're not here as well. So I think that's like the consensus, or that's like the overarching problem that we in Trinidad, or we in the Caribbean period, we're going to have. That they just want to receive and they don't want to input.
Right.
So, I mean, I am definitely for what you're pushing.
Yeah.
And I would love to be a part going forward and at least understand more about it. But it's not going to make waves if you have no numbers.
Well, the thing is, if I felt that I needed to have all members of the industry on board, I'd be fooling myself. Yeah. Because for years in this industry, I have been involved in band meetings where you discuss everything and everybody sit down and watch it. And then when you finish the meeting, they say, all right, we good? We could close off the meeting? Yeah. And you go outside the band room, and that's where the real meeting takes place. That's where everybody have all that they have to say on the pavement.
Well, maybe we should have the next meeting on the pavement. But definitely what this is, I think, is necessary.
Yeah.
It's just how do we take it from the idea and the responsibility of it and make it inspiring. Because they're really not even going to pay the $25 a month. They're not going to do anything. I mean, I'm not young, but I'm not that old, but I've seen enough to know that they're not going to do anything.
And this is why my suggestion that the all-inclusives make 500,000, a minimum of 500,000 profit. And we are the artists who create that.
Correct.
So if Carnival, we the artists, can hold one event for Carnival, one event for Easter, one event for Independence. That's 3 events a year. That is 1.5 million that will come into the coffers of the union, that the union can now say to members, this is what we have, so this is your dues. So you might end up paying $20 a month or $10 a month because we have the money.
Right. A quick last thing because I really have to make a movement. But,
Yeah.
It sounds good until it is.
Yeah.
Right? And even if you throw an event, you might get us to come out.
Yeah.
And that's not going to make you $500,000. So,
Right. No. The thing is, we need the promoters, the same promoters who throw in the event,
right.
to throw the event.
Right. I understand. Oh.
Once you register the union, register the union and make it in such a way that the only way you can work, especially when Carnival come, you have to be a member of the union. So you have to get to the government that there's a union and only musicians or artists that are member of the union will join the union. And if they do that, if you get that, then the union will, you'll see everybody coming because they want to work.
You know who is going to be the biggest negative with that? Tuko.
Well, that's forget Tuco. So
Yes.
they can't have no carnival competition, but they have to join the union. The musicians and whatever artists, singers have to join the union.
Let me pause for a second. I need to use the restroom.
All right. And that's serious. Sorry about that. That's the only way.
Anybody online? Huh? Okay. All right. Another area that the union is going to address. We have rock musicians in this country. A lot of rock musicians. But they don't get pride of place. We have classical artists who would love to earn. And there's always a challenge. The union would deal with that. Exactly, a musician is a musician, regardless of genre. So we are supporting every genre.
I think that because we have been without a union for so long, forever, that a lot of musicians don't understand the importance and how much more it will benefit the entire entertainment arena to contribute to a union. So people just go out there and help themselves to the, because they had to live, they had to make our money and thing. I would suggest that you or your company, the people involved, we may get some basic information so I could distribute. Because I have rock musicians, comedians, everybody in here.
Yeah.
So I could distribute to them every time they come here and say, listen, this is fantastic, but we would like you to be a part of the union so we could embrace and multiply and make this even more beneficial to you, because they don't know,
Right.
They don't
Now,
know.
the thing is, what you are talking about is hard copy.
Yeah.
We have soft copy. We have it digital. So I sent you a copy of the Constitution.
I have it.
Right. That you can send out to people.
Right.
Because if we have to do hard copy, it's going to cost. Where's that money coming from?
It is too much for them to read right now. No, I'm not saying it's not correct. It is absolutely fantastic. But for me to hand a 19-year-old rock entertainer on the stage and tell him read that, he will tell me, what is that? You're not reading that. We need to break it down, simplify it, so that they understand. You see, this union here could help you so much more. You can't just, you know what I mean? Because that is what we're dealing with.
So what we're looking at is basically a marketing campaign.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, which is the same thing Kit was talking about.
We need that. We need that.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about this for years, and people, and it ain't going nowhere.
Well, the thing is, to register the union, all we need are 7 people.
But you are more than, I could get more than 7 right now.
Right. So we can go ahead and we can register people, and the union is I think it's just about $35 or something to register.
Small thing. Yeah. But we have to get, and we have to focus on young, upcoming artists so we can move forward. You know what I mean?
And this is what I was focusing on with the mentorship. So don't let Marshall off the hook. Don't let Bungie off the hook. You need to have young artists that you're grooming. No, I just called names. What I'm talking about is senior artists who have come up in the industry to take 2 or 3 young upcoming artists and mentor them. So you're bringing people up, and what you're doing, you're carrying them on tour. But they're not working, but you're giving them a chance to run on an international stage. You're giving people an opportunity to hear them, to hear what they're offering. You see, in music, there is one thing about producing the music. It's a very different thing to perform it. You could rehearse how much you want in a band room. You see, when you get on stage, that's when you start to rehearse your performance. And that is what our young artists need. That mentorship to bring our artists up.
All right. That's another good topic again. Now, with the younger generation, when they make a mistake, they blame the band. You understand? And that is something that has to be corrected.
When you don't know, and you don't know that you don't know, you are blissfully happy.
But you have to educate the young, you have to educate the young artists, right? Because the young artists will say that you'll play for Marshall better than you play for me. But you could only play the music that you have in front of you.
And that is where the mentorship comes in.
Yeah.
So the thing is, if you have a mentorship program and you want to run ego, they will let you go. No, once they let you go, nobody taking you on.
Yeah.
So you'll find everybody else will go forward except you.
Yeah. I can remember Shadow's son, Shalon. I was totally shocked and he hated me. He was singing out of tune, but he thought I was going to tell him about his lyrics. That's not me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tried to approach him, that man could have killed me. And I don't talk to him because I'm Shadow's compare. I stayed for one of his children,
Mm-hmm.
and I would give a good advice. The young Californian boy, what's the young boy name?
Aaron Duncan.
Aaron Duncan. Last year, his lead trumpet lines was first space F sharp. And I called the mother to try to tell her, well, where it's written, it's wrong because nobody will be here. Leave it at that's all right. So I put myself, I pinch my ears and I say, I will never have anything to say about any Californian. And I cannot be on a stage and hearing something wrong and not give a good advice.
Right.
So I pinched myself and I said, no, forget it.
Part of the reason that is happening is because we have people in the industry who claim to themselves to be musical directors and arrangers, and they are not really musical directors and arrangers. And the industry has no recourse. So when you go to somebody to get your charts done, and the person does your charts and you go to a rehearsal, and the band can't play your music because one set of charts in one key and another set of charts in another key. What recourse do you have? You've paid the arranger. The arranger has written your music, but they've written it wrong.
But
who do you complain to?
From
That
time
is
to
what the
see-
union is going to
From
sort
time
out.
to see that you over 21 or you over 50, they don't care about you. And it hurts my heart to see that.
Well, the thing is, that is you as an individual, or me as an individual, or Hayden as an individual. But as a union, the union is the membership.
But how could the union now try to explain to her? Or is it the union's duty to explain to her the situation?
Once a situation
The
is reported,
respect.
once a situation is reported to the union will have to have an investigation into it and will have to address all parties. So, where we have arrangers who score music, and when it comes to the band to play, all of a sudden, you find a bar missing in the first trumpet chart, or the bass don't have a bar here that everybody else have a bar. It means that the union now is the platform to address that.
But why should the union have to come into that when a senior or a qualified musician is saying that something is wrong?
Reason being, the union is the platform for the standards. The union is not a senior musician or 2 senior musicians or 3 senior musicians. The union is the membership. And the membership is saying, we are the union. You, as an arranger, are at fault. You cannot charge this woman or this man X for a faulty arrangement. So either you fix it and make sure it is good, or you have to refund the person their money and let them get an arranger that the union will now recommend. And eventually, what is going to happen is that the substandard arrangers are not going to get work.
I like Aaron Duncan because he is good, but I would not, if I have to sit down, because of what the mother said to me personally, and I hear something wrong, I would not say anything. And that will hurt me.
And this is what I'm saying. This is you, Errol Ince, as a senior musician, as our most senior musician in the industry. But when you have a union, you have the platform of musicians of all age, of entertainers of all ages, where when we sit and we discuss something and we say, this is where we at. This is what we going with. Not this is what Errol's going with. Not this is what Tony Woodruff going with or Hayden Robin. This is what we.
But don't you
this
think
is
that,
our industry.
Yeah, but don't you think that we as musicians advising somebody who is not a musician that this is wrong, something is wrong with it, that they should accept it so we don't have to go through situations like that?
You have
the respect. It does not have the respect now.
You have a lot of mistrust, and you have a lot of the same substandard arrangers who will tell their clients, you see Errolins, that man, he very, very picky and he will pick at anything, but don't worry with he. But you see Tony Woodruff, that man is something else. Don't worry with he. So they are the client, so they trust this person to arrange. So you coming to say this to them, they are like, I already get warned about you, so I'm not taking you on.
That's very bad. That's very bad.
And this is why I'm saying what needs to happen, the platform of the union. Once we have that platform and we have the agreement of all members of the union, if a member of the union or somebody who is not a member of the union, anytime they transgress the standards that the union has agreed on, that is when we can deal with it.
What I object to is that when a Calypsonian will tell you that you're playing better for A than playing better for B, I can understand how a musician will play better for one person than another person. I can't understand. Huh? What? It happens? Tell me.
Hold on. Wait. No, I agree with him because I know it happened with Denise Plummer. When Rupert Ben Jr. Just now, Rupert Ben Jr. did her arrangement for her. And hold on, let me talk, hold on. And the calypso that she was singing, where they put her on the program, man, chops gone, because she come down to the end of the program with a fast tune, with a set of well high horns. The second trumpet was where you'd normally put a first trumpet. Hold on. She couldn't understand why there was always a problem with her music. Because the music was badly arranged. So yes, the band did play better for people who came with properly arranged music. No. But the thing is, their perception is that the band is responsible. They don't understand the intricacies of the fact that if you have a bad arranger, all right, I've seen it in the Calypso tent all the time. People screaming, the band too loud, they can't hear the singer. But the arranger has written horns all over the place. So, to hear the singer, how you go hear the singer when the horns playing all the time? No. Right, those are not union issues. I agree with that.
To break it down, is a lot of people have driver's license, but they cannot drive.
Right. And what I am saying, and I continue to say, is that once we have a union, we can now set guidelines, and all those issues will be dealt with. So talking about those issues and what happened in the past, fine, I agree with that. But we need to address it, and we can only address it through a union. Just now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So everybody who is computer literate becomes a musical director and producer. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Reading a score is not a criteria for being a member of the union. Right. But the thing is, who is going to be the members of the union are the people who out there in the bandstand. So we as a union cannot address an issue if we don't have members of that section. We can only address issues that affect our members. Yeah. Because right now, all right, you mentioned most of the artists are doing what is rock and reggae and all the alternative. They're not even going to consider because nobody, they haven't seen Right. Right. And that is what I have been saying for the whole night. It's not about sitting back and waiting for somebody else to address my problems. It is about me getting involved and becoming a voice for what I am feeling, what is affecting me. And then once you put right. No. And once that comes forward, then everybody can discuss it and we make a decision on it and then we can move forward with that.
What I want to say is that
She does not. Her discussion is having what are we doing in terms of including people from other genres. And she is suggesting that the only way people will be interested is no, but yes, the people, they need to know what's in it for me. And this is what I keep saying. The what's in it for me is the problem, because we all expect somebody else to fix the problems. We don't see that we need to get involved and we need to stand up and say, this is the problem I'm having. What can we do about this? Different genres. Yeah. Yes. Yes. And right. What you are right. What you are contributing to is the solution for everything that affects you. So the thing is, I cannot know what affects you unless you tell me what affects you. When you raise what affects you, there may be other people who are involved who would say, yes, I understand what affects you because I have experienced that too. But this is how I dealt with it. And I could even recommend that as a body, this is what we do, and we can sort this out. Yes. Yes, that is, Carl is saying, that is the marketing that we need to do, so that we need to let people know that they come to the union and what affects them, they bring it to the union. The union is not just going to be magically fixing everything. They have to come to the union, bring what affects them, and when it is raised at a union level, then the union can deal with it.
Now, the union, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Now, the union that you are forming,
that we are forming, not me.
all right, it includes producers.
Yes.
It includes promoters.
Yes.
It includes songwriters.
Yes.
It includes every aspect of the musical industry.
Yes.
You have to be careful with that. Because on one hand, a producer could be a member of the union.
Yeah.
But he's also independent with his artists to produce a certain type of music and a certain type of dress formula too. managing, the artist managers, and all of them are union members too. That's what you are saying. You have to be careful with that because you can have a cross-thread of industry.
No. The thing is, everybody has a right to whatever they're about. When you're a producer, it means when we are discussing things with producers, all stakeholders who are interested will be part of that discussion.
Like the sector?
And yes, not only the sector, because producers interact with artists. So when you're dealing with something with producers, artists are going to be involved also. So whoever comes, that is where you can contribute your voice to what the final decision would be. So the thing is, if you don't come, if you don't speak up, if you don't say anything, you don't have an opportunity to address the problems. The only way you can address the problems is when you step up and you stand up and say what is impacting you. Yes, Eden?
What's the name of this union or proposed name? Does it have a name?
Kali, forward the Constitution to Hayden for me, please.
Yeah. I had it. Where I got it from? Send it to you. My phone had on this disappearing app thing. So, and then Carl always sending me all kind of things. Huh?
All right.
So I'll get a chance to go through it.
Wack, could you give me an idea of how many people were online?
The name of the union is the Alliance of Entertainment and Associate
Professionals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh God, my battery dead in.
Yeah. So the thing is, now that we've been through it, I haven't heard anybody raise anything about the Constitution itself. So we go ahead and we'll register it with the Constitution, and it means that when the time comes that we have, you know, if anybody has an issue with it, then you can raise it and we discuss it, you know, in a motion.
And I don't need to be in no union. But I pay my dues because I think it's something that children need, and musicians need.
Huh? Okay, so we had 30 on YouTube and 20 on Facebook.
Not bad.
Right? So even though physically here, it was out there. No, it's online. Okay, so the bottom line is we're moving forward and it's going to be registered. Huh? I can't remember offhand, it's in the Constitution there. Yeah, 150. So we will move forward and register, and we take it from there. All right, so those who are here physically, I thank you for your presence and your contributions. And those who are online, I thank them for their presence. And when we have finished the registration process with the government registry, we let everybody know. So thank you and good night.